So my question then is, those members of MAGA who say that you're merely too woke, the military is too far left, you're made of radical. I'm just telling you what they're saying, because to me, every time somebody says the violent radical left, I go, the the radical left, they don't even want you to own guns. I don't know
Right.
what the hell that's about. Violent how? Are they out there with bows and arrows? Am I missing something? But their words, the violent radical left has taken over the military. You're too woke, and you've abandoned your own mission.
Yeah. I mean, to that, I say, okay, well, first of all, what years did you serve, so that you can tell me about your experience? Most of them have not ever worn a uniform. Second, the military didn't put in policies of that make it easier for Black men and women to serve, because their hair grows a certain way, because they wanted to be woke or politically correct. They did that because the American populace is diverse, and in order to recruit and retain the most exceptional people, we need to have policies that reflect the reality of those people who are serving. And the
Or
fact of the
any people, attract any people. It's a
That's right.
volunteer
That's right.
organization.
We I mean, most young people today are not interested in serving in the U.S. military because of what they've seen and heard, what they've seen and heard from Republicans specifically about what it's like to be in the military, the denigration that this administration has, painted the military as this, place of political correctness. I mean, I served in the Marine Corps as an officer. I served as a combat engineer. I served in all types of units. Second to last unit I was attached to was an infantry unit. I can tell you, it wasn't very woke. I had a very successful career. I enjoyed my time. But no one was complaining about the Marine Corps infantry being too woke. I can tell you that much. It's so absurd to me. Like, the military has a mission it has to meet, and it's going to seek the most qualified people to do the jobs. This whole thing about, women and combat arms standards really drives me absolutely crazy, because when the combat exclusion policy was repealed in 2015, the way it was repealed was that there were gender neutral standards for all combat arms professions that were put into place. So in order to be a tank officer, you have to meet a certain standard.
Right.
Going on from there, that has been the case since the combat exclusion policy was repealed, and women have been serving honorably and successfully in combat arms roles since it was repealed, and even before, because there were no front lines in Iraq and Afghanistan. Like, if you were a logistician driving a truck down a highway and you got hit by an
No
IED and
shit.
you took fire, you were returning fire. That's a combat arms job. So the reality is, everybody needs to be able to perform to the mission set that they're being sent on. The military is not putting people in harm's way unnecessarily for the sake of political correctness. They're, putting together standards for everyone. Anyone who's qualified to meet them can serve in those positions. Like, it is so frustrating that this Secretary Hegseth is relitigating these culture wars that have already been settled, that we've seen people serving honorably and performing exceptionally in these roles, and for him to make this the focus of his his leadership is so juvenile. It's like I said this earlier, it's like he's got this 1980s cartoon version of what the military should be, and he hasn't grown up enough to understand that we are actually a very sophisticated fighting force, and we need people of all different types and all different strengths in order to achieve the mission.